My name is Alex and welcome to the channel. Today's video is about Glocks in video games versus Glock builds in real life. Let's look at Modern Warfare and Battlefield 4 to see what they got right about the Glock and what stuff they made up. I have a Glock 17 here in my possession that we will be comparing the video game Glocks to. Now, big note here for YouTube. This is not a gun channel, this is a gaming channel. But sometimes for us to talk about video games, we have to talk about things in real life like this. So do not classify me as a gun YouTuber. Okay, let's look at the first and probably one of the most common portrayals of the Glock, and that is the bone stock X19 from the beginning of Warzone. Obviously, there are a lot of accessories we can add to the pistol for it to look like this, but we won't get to that until a little later in the video. You drop into Tovorsk district in Warzone with the most basic of pistols, so everybody gets a chance to use this pistol. It's also the first thing that you want out of your inventory as you pick up other weapons. It isn't very effective in the game bone stock like this. On the contrary though, in the real world, this is really all you need and you can become really proficient with this pistol. A lot of people swear by this simplicity and never change anything up on their Glocks. On the other hand, I am a gear nerd, and the second I see an advantage gained by accessorizing a pistol, I go for it. The most accurate X19 blueprint to what I have here is the Urban Defiler. A few things that are slightly different, like this blueprint looks like it's a Glock 19, but we will ignore that. The Urban Defiler in the game comes with a dark grayish and black theme that matches my pistol, as well as some forward and rear serrations on the aftermarket slide. We have a Hollow Sun red dot here to match the red dot in the game, and a magazine extension. Next bit of similarity is the laser. I currently do not run lasers on my pistols at home, but I do run a weapon light. Being able to identify a target is much more important to me than putting a laser on a target. Unless that laser is infrared, then I would reconsider. Maybe lasers are helpful for those who want it all, but in my opinion, grab yourself a flashlight first. I put this Surefire X300U light on mine. It does have somewhat of the same form factor as the fake Corvus light laser combo, and it is my light of choice. All in all, that is the most common part of the build. Now let's see how a setup like this would run in the game. Surprisingly, the accessorized Glock does really well in game if run like a primary weapon. One of the funnier things I've noticed about the X19 is that the damage is not as high as the damage on the 1911, even though they shoot the same round. Now, I have a whole video about how dumb it is that even though guns shoot the same round in Modern Warfare, they're somehow very different, but that difference aside, the perceived recoil is a little more than the 1911, and that is something that would be accurate in the real world. The 1911 is a full steel pistol, and that added weight helps absorb some of the recoil, whereas the polymer framed Glock 22 will feel a bit more snappy because of the lighter weight. I really do like running this loadout as light as possible to outmaneuver enemies, but also using the X19 as heavy as possible with accessories for better recoil management. This type of playstyle rolls really well in game, but I would never take my Glock as a primary if I had a rifle at my disposal. The next real world thing I wanted to check on the X19 was the barrel attachments. In real life, I do run a compensator from time to time when it makes sense to me. Now, there is a lot of debate around compensators, and I run mine mostly due to looks, unless run on the Flux kit here. Then it does make sense to extend the muzzle further out. You can find several compensator-like devices in Modern Warfare, but for this category, I wanted to look at Battlefield 4. BF4 was the last modern Battlefield, and the amount of weapons and attachments in this game was legendary. Here you can see compensators and muzzle brakes and flash hiders. I don't know much about those devices other than the compensator, so I won't make a point about those. The point I want to make is about the suppressors, silencers, cans, whatever you want to call them, and yes, you can say silencer. The original patent filed for a suppressor was in 1921, and it was called a silencer. If you want to be cool, just call it a can. Now, Battlefield, we see the advantage of using a can on your Glock 18. If you are running around with a secondary as a primary in Battlefield, it's a good idea to mask your location when you are flanking the enemy. Same goes for Modern Warfare. In Modern Warfare, the suppressors actually give you quite a bit of range advantage, allowing you to compete against those higher powered weapons. This is apparent in maps like Shipment, where you have to be quick and accurate to win the more mid to long range encounters. Getting long range kills is really hard with pistols, so any advantage should be taken. Now, the real world use for suppressors is a little different and probably more boring than you think. The suppressor does not silence your shot like in movies. According to Range 365, the average 45 caliber bullet being shot without a suppressor could be around 162 decibels. And with a suppressor, you can expect near 133 decibels. To put that in perspective, a lawnmower averages around 107 decibels running. Some of the real-world advantages are to lessen the potential of permanent hearing loss, which makes suppressors a health benefit. Not all of these types of things are taken into account when using the Glock or X19 in video games, but they are good to know in the real world. Now, I'm not reviewing the Glock as a weapon because there are so many people who are way more knowledgeable and have tons of experience using the Glock that have made those kinds of videos. I just wanted to bring you what I thought was interesting of things that I caught in video games about Glocks. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked this video, hit the like button if you learned something, and if there was something that was wrong, comment in the section below and correct me. If you want to see more videos like this one, an analysis or breakdown of a weapon, I've done a couple of those and you can check that out over on my channel. Another good way to see those is to hit subscribe and they will just appear in your feed. Again, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.